Chapter 41. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Fujiki Mountain is not a very high mountain, or rather, it is a small stretch of mountains, surrounded by lavender wisteria flowers, revealing a breathtaking beauty near dusk. However, hidden under this beautiful scene is the cruelest final selection before joining the Demon Slayer Corps. On Fujiki Mountain, which is full of wisteria flowers, there are an astonishing number of evil spirits. They are trapped in the mountains by the endless wisteria flowers on the side of the mountain, and suffer from extreme hunger every day, which makes all the evil spirits reach the edge of madness. For the sake of flesh and blood, the evil spirits here dare to launch the most brutal attacks on any human who enters Fujiki Mountain. If you want to join the Demon Slayer Corps, this is the final selection. On Fujiki Mountain, which is full of crazy evil spirits, you must use all means to survive for 7 days. It sounds cruel, but the truth is indeed cruel. In each final selection, only a few people can successfully pass, and almost all the failed people lost their lives in Fujiki Mountain. This is why almost every member of the Demon Slayer team is brave and fearless, fighting evil spirits with their lives without fear, because in the final selection of Fujiki Mountain, they have already experienced hell. Steadily walking into the entrance of Fujiki Mountain, there is only one figure standing quietly under the decoration of the shrine's gatepost: black Demon Slayer uniform, white cloak with flowing fire pattern, messy but unusually straight golden hair. The ends of the hair are stained with bright red, rough eyebrows and a face full of righteousness, big orange eyes, making people feel like looking directly at an owl. And the most important thing is that this person is filled with a strong aura. That aura is like a raging flame. Rengoku Makijuro held the Nichiren sword on his waist and watched Shinichi holding Shiba Inu Enji walking towards him. You are the pillar? Shinichi asked in confusion. Makijuro looked at the boy with different colored eyes in front of him, and was a little surprised, because he could not feel the breath of the ghost on this boy, and the sun had not yet set. But Shinichi, who was exposed to the sun, did not feel uncomfortable at all. Everything that Mr. Moriki said seemed to have come true, and Makijuro felt a little emotional. Yes, I am the flame pillar of the Demon Slayer Corps, Rengoku Makijuro, and I accept the order of the Lord to be the host of this final selection. Makijuro said, his voice was loud and full of righteousness. Shinichi looked around, then pointed at himself and said with a smile, so I am the only one in the final selection this time. For me alone, the strongest force of the Demon Slayer Corps was dispatched. Should I be grateful to the Lord for his care? Makijuro's thick eyebrows slightly wrinkled. The boy's words were a bit unpleasant and seemed a bit impolite, but remembering the Lord's instructions before leaving, Makijuro still patiently explained to Shinichi. However, Shinichi had heard about the final selection of the Demon Slayer Corps from the old man. He looked up at the mountains that were slowly disappearing into the night and squinted his eyes slightly. So, do we need to kill all the demons on the mountain? Makijuro was stunned. No, Shinichi Moriki, your deeds have long been circulated among some team members, and the Lord is also aware of your strength. In fact, the final selection is meaningless to you, but the Lord insisted on letting you participate because the Lord promised Mr. Moriki that he would use the most formal way to let the Moriki family return to the Demon Slayer Corps again. This is also Mr. Moriki's request. Hearing that it was the old man, Shinichi didn't say anything more. He touched the head of Enji in his arms. What do you need me to do? Makijuro walked to Shinichi's side, pointed to Fujiki Mountain and said, the evil demons on this mountain are the evil demons captured by the pillars of all generations, including the current pillars, from all over the place. They are trapped like livestock. In Fujiki Mountain, the strength of these evil spirits is not very strong, and the most evil spirits will not eat more than 3 people. However, every time after a period of time, we will clean up the evil spirits on the mountain to ensure that there will be no evil spirits with too strong strength to interfere with the final selection. So, Shinichi, we want to ask you, this time your final selection is to clear out the evil spirits with too strong strength on this mountain. Hearing what Makijuro said, Shinichi stared at a certain place on the mountain and murmured in a low voice, so, it's a cleaner, right? Then can I ask specifically, what is the standard for being too strong? Makijuro, all those with strength exceeding the evil spirits that have eaten 3 people will be killed, and the evil spirits with blood demon arts or alien evil spirits will also be killed. Shinichi nodded, I understand. As he said that, he suddenly handed the Enji in his arms to Makijuro. The sudden behavior surprised Makijuro, and he was at a loss for a while looking at the Shiba Inu in his hand, but Shinichi didn't care about these, and said without looking back, "Then I'd like to trouble you to take care of Enji for me these few days. He eats a lot and needs to be fed 5 times a day. If possible, let him exercise for a while after eating." As soon as the words fell, Shinichi rushed into the entrance of Fujiki Mountain like a sharp arrow. Wait. Before Makijuro could finish his words, Shinichi had disappeared, leaving only the cute Shiba Inu staring at him. Makijuro didn't like small animals at all, so when he looked at Enji who was shaking his tail on the ground, his thick eyebrows quickly knitted into a pile. A crow with red feathers on its tail landed on Makijuro's shoulder. After Makijuro whispered something in the crow's ear, the clever crow nodded and flapped its wide wings flying into the sky, flying quickly in a certain direction. The perspective turns to Shinichi. After going deep into Fujiki Mountain, Shinichi clearly felt that one evil and violent breath after another was staring at him, and as Shinichi went deeper and deeper, similar violent breaths and hungry eyes became more and more. Squeak! With a sudden break, the deerskin boots on Shinichi's feet left 2 long marks on the mud. He raised his head, and his eyes of different colors kept scanning around, as if confirming something. At this time, the sky was completely shrouded in night, and the home court of the evil ghosts was officially opened. Too weak. Too weak. All too weak. Even if you go so deep, is it only this degree? Shinichi murmured in dissatisfaction. The aura of the evil ghosts around him was too weak. Apart from anything else, the evil ghost Karasuma from the past could sweep away these weak ghosts. Shinichi, who had lost interest, did not intend to waste time here. He raised his foot and was about to go to another area, but at this moment, something strange happened. In the bushes, an evil ghost with bloodshot eyes suddenly jumped out and rushed towards Shinichi, opening his big mouth with fangs exposed and saliva splashing. Meat. I want to eat flesh and blood. Chapter 42. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The sudden rush of the evil spirit made Shinichi stop in his tracks. He subconsciously reached out and grasped the handle of the Nichiren sword. The forest breath started to work, and the vitality began to gather. But suddenly, Makijuro's instructions rang in his ears, and Shinichi stopped drawing the sword. The evil spirits in Fujiki Mountain were the final selection targets for the swordsman. His mission was not to kill all these weak spirits, but to eliminate those evil spirits that exceeded the standard. However, Shinichi could not ignore the evil spirits rushing towards him. This time, whether to kill or not, Shinichi was in a dilemma. But Shinichi hesitated, and the hungry evil spirit would not hesitate. It rushed to Shinichi and opened its big mouth to bite. Bang! However, a shocking scene happened. The hungry evil spirit suddenly stopped in place, its claws drooped weakly, and the blood flowed down its body, soon soaking the ground under its feet. Looking at the evil spirit's head again, where was there any trace of the head above the neck? A big hand with black claws grasped the remaining neck of the evil ghost. The hand was covered with broken pieces of the evil ghost's head. The pink right eye was replaced by a scarlet blood eye. The black vertical pupil exuded a cold and terrible killing intent. The blood vessels under the skin on the face were faintly bulging. The corners of the mouth were slightly open, and the 4 sharp fangs flashed a cold light. Since it is impossible to kill these weak ghosts with the Sun Will sword, just use the power of the ghost to smash these blind ghost heads. Snap. He let go of the headless ghost body in his hand. The ghost body that was still gushing blood twitched from time to time. There were vague buds on the broken neck. Obviously, this evil ghost was not dead, but whether it could recover to its original state in this state was its own business. Shinichi didn't care about the life and death of a ghost. The scarlet eyes turned to the depths of the forest, where there were more sneaky evil ghosts. At this moment, the scene where Shinichi suddenly jumped up and crushed the head of an evil ghost was seen by countless evil ghosts hiding, which shocked the ghosts. He looked like an ordinary handsome human boy a second ago, but how could the ghost aura burst out so terrifyingly in the next second? He looked more like a ghost than these genuine evil ghosts. However, for these evil ghosts in Fujiksi Mountain, their nightmare has just begun. Run! 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 What monster? Where did the monster come from? Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! In the forest, a one-eyed evil ghost ran away like a ghost. On the back of its head, a wide-open eyeball was full of bloodshot, and it scanned everything behind its head in horror. Under the pale moonlight, the scene of the evil ghost running away looked particularly creepy. Although the one-eyed ghost had been praying hard not to run into the monster, soon, the eyeball on the back of its head suddenly popped up because it saw a green figure rushing towards it at a high speed. How is it possible? How can he be so fast? The one-eyed ghost shouted desperately, as if he had a premonition that he could not escape. The one-eyed ghost simply made up his mind and stopped to face the figure. I will fight you. Blood demon art, explosion pupil. The one-eyed ghost roared, and then he reached out and dug out the eyeball on his face, and then threw it fiercely at the green figure. Boom! The moment the eyeball collided with the green figure, there was a huge roar, a ball of fire burst up, and smoke and dust filled the air. A new eyeball grew out of the one-eyed ghost's eye at this time. It stared at the diffuse smoke and dust nervously. Unfortunately, this guy didn't know the law that there is no harm in smoke since ancient times, so when it saw a scarlet eye and a turquoise eye light up from the smoke and dust, it despaired. Before the one-eyed ghost could dig out the eyeball again, snap! Its body was directly broken into two parts like a stack of cubes, its legs fell to the ground with a plop, and its entire face was held down by a hand with black claws, licking the fangs in his mouth with his tongue, a habit after transformation. Shinichi's scarlet right eye kept looking at the one-eyed ghost that he had broken into two pieces, with a hint of interest in his eyes. I didn't expect that there was really a ghost in Fujiki Mountain who could use blood demon arts. Judging from your appearance, you should have eaten more than 10 people, right? That the one-eyed ghost who was pinned down didn't have the fighting spirit he had at the beginning, and he begged for mercy like a dead dog. Sir. Let me go, sir. It's not easy for me to get to where I am today. I don't want to die. Sir. Please, have mercy and let me be your slave. Don't kill me. Please. Shinichi laughed, showing his fangs, and directly refused coldly. I'm sorry, you are too ugly. I am not interested in having an ugly monster like you as a slave, not to mention that I have been looking for you for most of the night to find a unique seedling like you who can use blood demon arts, and I just happen to be hungry, so you're welcome. Shinichi said with a bad taste, I'm starting, Masai, and then, the blood demon art, vitality absorption, was activated. A green branch instantly emerged from Shinichi's palm, easily pierced the head of the one-eyed ghost, and the powerful suction instantly sucked the one-eyed ghost dry. Crack. With a pinch, the dry head and the body of the one-eyed ghost turned into ashes. Shinichi's scarlet eyes looked at the deep forest of Fujiksi Mountain again. This efficiency is still too low. It only took half a night to walk through a small forest and eliminate 5 excessive evil ghosts. At this speed, 7 days may not be enough. However, the number of evil spirits on Fujiki Mountain still surprised Shinichi a little. There were too many. Although most of them were weak, the number was too much. Not to mention the swordsman who had just entered the final selection. Even an experienced swordsman of the Demon Slayer Corps could not be guaranteed to survive 7 days in safety in Fujiki Mountain, so, while Shinichi was hunting and killing the evil spirits that exceeded the standard, he was also doubting the rationality of the final selection. Was this selection too much? No wonder Mr. Moriki told Shinichi before that there might be dozens of participants in each final selection. Hundreds, but only a few people can walk out alive after 7 days, the mortality rate is too high. Shinichi shook his head. He felt that when he met the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps, it would be necessary to talk about this unreasonable final selection. However, these should be later. The current task is to continue to eliminate those hidden evil spirits that exceed the standard. Shinichi raised his head and locked a certain direction. In his scarlet eyes, the same kind of aura was unusually obvious. Among dozens of weak auras, 2 obviously had unusually strong auras quietly hidden. Ha, I caught you. Chapter 43. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the dark forest, a huge figure quietly hid in the darkness. Crunch. 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 Every time the huge figure moved, it would make a tooth-grinding sound of flesh and bone rubbing. Rinko. 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 Damn Rinko. The huge figure kept repeating this name like a curse, with a strong tone of anger and resentment, as if it had a great hatred for the name in its mouth, so that it kept repeating this name, bang. When the huge figure walked out of the darkness, under the moonlight, how could it be described as a hideous appearance? There was no human figure on the whole body, it was completely like a 3-year-old child who made a heaven-defying appearance with mud. One after another, dozens of huge shit-green arms twisted together to form this ugly evil ghost under the moonlight, the hand ghost. The huge hand ghost repeatedly shouted Yurokuro Katsu and stretched out several thick arms as if to vent, sweeping away dozens of thick trees in front of him. The name that the hand ghost kept repeating was the water pillar of the demon slayer Yurokuro Katsu Sakanji, the man who captured it to this damn Fujiki mountain more than 30 years ago, more than 30 years. It has been trapped in this mountain for more than 30 years. Like a livestock raised by humans. Everything is because of that damn Yurokuro Katsu Sakanji. Whenever the hand ghost thinks of this name, it will be furious to the point of going crazy. The Tengu mask has been deeply engraved in its heart. It swears, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely let Yurokuro Katsu Sakanji pay the price. After venting, the hand ghost's emotions finally stabilized a little. It can survive in Fujiki Mountain for more than 30 years and avoid the repeated elimination of the pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps. The hand ghost also has its own unique means. First of all, the hand ghost is very cautious. It will not rush forward recklessly like other hungry evil ghosts once a human swordsman steps into Fujiksi Mountain. The cunning hand ghost will generally hide and attack those swordsmen who are alone, and will never be greedy. After eating 1 or 2 humans, it will hide again, relying on sufficient cunning and caution. The hand ghost has eaten more than 30 human swordsmen who participated in the final selection of the Demon Slayer Corps in more than 30 years, and it has also changed from a weak little ghost at the beginning to the terrifying and powerful alien appearance it is now. The Demon Slayer Corps did not know from the beginning that there was such a powerful and terrifying alien ghost hidden in Fujiksi Mountain. Perhaps for the pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps, the hand ghost is just a matter of a knife, but for those young swordsmen who participated in the final selection, facing the hand ghost is almost like facing hell. Countless turd-green thick arms with red nails constitute the body of the hand ghost. The turd-green arms not only replace its body, but also replace all its organs and means of attack. Under a large pile of arms, the thickest ones support the ground with their palms to support the movement of the hand ghost's body. In addition to the arms all over the body, the hand ghost only has the middle one, oh no, half of the same turd-green head, with 2 bloodshot and hideous eyes on the head, and the pale yellow pupils are full of cruel and cunning killing intent. Sooner or later, there will be a day. Sooner or later, there will be such a day. Urokataki, I will definitely make you pay the price. That damn Tengu mask. I will crush all Tengu masks. The hand ghost kept nagging, and the sharp and piercing voice made people feel physically uncomfortable. Shinichi in the tree thought so too. So, Shinichi didn't plan to listen to this disgusting thing's mumbling anymore. When the hand ghost was about to return to his nest, a figure suddenly fell from the sky in front of him, bang. The huge impact left a deep mark on the ground. Under the horrified gaze of the hand ghost, Shinichi, who still closed his eyes, slowly stood up straight, with no expression on his cold face. He slightly moved his neck and waist, and there was a crackling sound of bones rubbing against each other. He clenched his fists tentatively, feeling the power contained in his fists, and Shinichi opened his eyes. His right eye was scarlet and his left eye was green. The 2 heterochromatic eyes stared at the hand ghost at the same time. Yo, I haven't seen such an ugly guy like you for a long time. Compared with you, Karasuma can be considered a handsome guy. Even if you become a ghost, your aesthetic taste is so curious. Or is it that the uglier the ghost, the stronger it is? Shinichi showed his fangs and teased the hand ghost in front of him, squeak. Blood vessels burst out under the green skin of the hand ghost. Obviously, Shinichi's words angered it a little, but Shinichi's current appearance also made the hand ghost wary, because Shinichi's ghost energy was quite strong. At least he, a ghost who had eaten more than 30 people, could not compare to it. When did such a powerful ghost appear on Fuji Mountain? But the most alarming thing for the hand ghost was not this, but the unique aura on Shinichi's body. Although he is an evil ghost, his eyes are not stained with the tyranny and murderous emotions of evil ghosts. The most terrifying thing is that the special frequency between this guy's breathing subconsciously reminds the hand ghost of breathing. Only humans can use breathing methods. Just like Urokadaki Sakanji who caught him to this mountain. The hand ghost still remembers his water breathing. Just one move. Just one move. Almost took his life. And this guy in front of him who looks like the same kind is actually using breathing methods. Who is he? Who are you? The hand ghost asked in a sharp voice. Shinichi picked his ears, frowned, and replied unhappily, "You guy, not only are you ugly, but your voice is also terrible." The hand ghost was furious when he heard this. This bastard didn't take him seriously. Let's give him some color first. It's a good time to test his quality. As soon as he thought of this, the next second, a disgusting sound came from the hand ghost, and more than a dozen turd-green thick arms immediately rushed towards Shinichi. In the eyes of the hand ghost, his attack speed was extremely fast, and he wanted to see how the guy in front of him could dodge, but in Shinichi's eyes, the hand ghost's attack speed was not even as fast as Karasuma's tongue. This slow speed could be easily avoided with his eyes closed, so in the horrified eyes of the hand ghost, Shinichi's figure was like a ghost, easily dodging all his attacks, and dodge in the gaps between more than a dozen turd-green arms, constantly approaching his body. Impossible! 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 The horrified hand ghost shouted impossible 3 times in a row. Seeing Shinichi getting closer and closer, all the turd-green arms on the hand ghost were activated at the same time, covering Shinichi like an overwhelming blanket. Sizzle. The friction sound of deerskin boots against the ground was heard. Shinichi stopped at a certain moment. A hint of excitement flashed in his scarlet right eye, and a rare smile appeared on his cold face. Well done. Blood Demon Art, Blood Rage. Chapter 44. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Blood Demon Art, Blood Rage. In the body that ordinary people can't see at all, in every blood vessel of Shinichi, the blood that originally flowed calmly instantly boiled, and the boiling blood emitted an astonishingly high temperature like rolling magma, and this terrifying high temperature also activated every muscle, every nerve, and every cell in Shinichi's body, and everything activated greatly enhanced Shinichi's speed and strength. Facing the shit green arm of the hand ghost whooshing at him, Shinichi not only did not dodge, but raised his hand and punched, hitting it head-on, and the slightly red fist and the shit green palm that was as big as Shinichi's head collided with each other. Bang! Crack! Ah! After a dull sound of fists and palms hitting each other, there was an obvious sound of bone cracking, and then the hand ghost's miserable howl. The shit green arm that was fighting with Shinichi's fist had been twisted 180 degrees, and the white bone stumps directly pierced through the skin and exposed, and blood plasma splashed from the broken end. Shinichi's fangs were slightly exposed. This was just the beginning. I hope this ugly ghost can make him happy. Bang! 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 Shinichi's figure was like the strongest reef on the coast. He did not move even if the waves composed of countless arms of the hand ghost hit him wantonly. The red fists kept hitting, and even formed afterimages in the air. The hand ghost now understood what it meant to be worse than death. The killer star on the opposite side seemed to really treat it as a large sandbag. Every punch of that terrible fist could break its arm bones and tendons. The ground was already covered with the ghost blood and limbs of the hand ghost. Damn it! Try this. The hand ghost screamed, and the only intact arm no longer tried to force a fight with Shinichi, but twisted and bent like a flexible python. The moment Shinichi just swung his fist, he immediately came up and quickly wrapped around Shinichi's legs. Shinichi, who who was enjoying the punch, was not careful for a moment and fell into the hand ghost's calculation. When Shinichi reacted, his legs had been tightly wrapped by the hand ghost's shit green arm. "What are you doing? Take your disgusting thing away." Shinichi's disgust was already painted on his face. Being wrapped by such a disgusting shit green arm made him sick just thinking about it, but the hand ghost didn't care about these. When he saw Shinichi was wrapped by it, he immediately laughed a triumphant smile. His two yellow eyes like light bulbs narrowed into a curved shape, and with its shit green head, it was extremely wretched. Shinichi felt a deep chill just by looking at it. He. How can I let you go, little brat? Although I don't know how you survived on Fujiksi Mountain to your current strength and can even breathe like a human, but you remember this, the strongest demon on this mountain is me. He. The hand ghost laughed and taunted. Then, while Shinichi was trying to break free from the restraints of his legs, more than a dozen shit green arms rushed up, covering and entwining one after another, and in the blink of an eye, Shinichi's entire body was tightly entangled and submerged. Taste the pain. Arrogant little brat. He. The hand ghost narrowed his eyes and laughed wantonly, and then all the arms tightened together. Shinichi, who was trapped by countless arms, felt the terrifying force coming from all directions when he left. The force wanted to crush him alive, but he had no space to exert force at this time. Once a powerful lion is entangled by a strong python, the lion, who has lost the space to exert force and has no power to use, will eventually be strangled to death by the python. Shinichi's situation now is like a lion tightly entangled by a giant python. It seems that he has lost the space to exert force and is in a desperate situation, but Shinichi's face is not panicked at all, and there is even a hint of excitement on his face. This is interesting. I didn't expect that this ugly ghost still has some brains, but unfortunately, not much. While resisting the terrifying pressure from all sides, Shinichi actually had time to laugh at the hand ghost, and these two sentences were clearly heard by the hand ghost. Sizzle. Countless bloodshot instantly appeared in the yellow eyeballs of the hand ghost, and countless blood vessels suddenly burst out on the shit green arms. Obviously, the hand ghost was angry again, and it was an unprecedented rage, almost catching up with its anger towards Urokodaki Sakanji. Arrogant, and presumptuous little brat. You really deserve to die. You are as disgusting, abominable, and hateful as the damned Urokodaki Sakanji. I will crush you. The hand ghost shouted a lot of words in a sharp and piercing voice, and the anger in his tone was unprecedented. Swish. All the shit green arms burst out with the most powerful and terrifying power. Even if two lions were really stuffed in, they would be crushed into a large ball of minced meat in just a few seconds, but the furious hand ghost was horrified to find that in its arms under it, it was as if a ball of fire was burning, and the terrifying high temperature was burning its arm, and the temperature was still rising, hotter and hotter. Hotter and hotter. As the temperature rose sharply, the anger in the hand ghost's eyes gradually disappeared, replaced by deeper and deeper fear and helplessness. No. It shouldn't be. It's just a little ghost that suddenly appeared. How could it be so strong? Impossible. Who are you? Boom. As soon as the hand ghost finished speaking, a large group of tangled shit green arms exploded instantly, and countless sticky flesh and broken bones instantly splashed in all directions, while a strong figure with a naked upper body stood in place. Between the perfect muscles, red blood vessels were exposed, and the hot blood flowed in them, making the blood vessels emit orange-red like magma. The originally fair skin had turned red at this time, and the orange-red blood vessels were like flowing flame patterns, and the scarlet of the right eye also brought the orange-red light of magma. Blood demon art, blood rage, second degree, that the fist with black claws clenched slightly, raised his head, and locked his eyes on the hand ghost. Shinichi's tongue unconsciously licked his fangs again. At this time, the hand ghost looked as miserable as it could be. The originally terrifying alien body was now in tatters, and the broken arms and broken flesh were everywhere. Facing Shinichi, whose momentum was rising, the hand ghost was afraid. It was really afraid. Now it had completely lost the emotion of anger in its mind, and was replaced by endless fear and cowardice. Big. 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 Before the cowering hand ghost opened his mouth to beg for mercy, Shinichi suddenly stepped on the ground. With the help of the reaction force, this person hit the hand ghost like a red flash, boom. The huge body of the hand ghost flew backwards as if it was hit by a cannonball, crushing several thick trees. Ha 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 ha. So satisfying. So satisfying. That's the feeling. Shinichi, who was emitting an astonishingly high temperature, stomped hard on the body of the hand ghost, and violent fists rained down on the hand ghost like raindrops. Every punch could bring a bloody storm. And Shinichi himself, while violently abusing the hand ghost, shouted excitedly, and he looked like he was on drugs. Ugly ghost. What other tricks do you have? Use them quickly. Use them quickly. Use your tricks quickly. Otherwise, you will die. You will really die. Ha ha ha. Shinichi laughed excitedly. Chapter 45. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Crack. The sound of a dead branch being stepped on and broken attracted the attention of a pair of eyes on a dense tree. The eyelids opened and the brown pupils looked towards the place where the sound came from. I saw a huge figure under the tree, and I didn't know when it appeared there. The air was filled with a strong smell of blood. Hand ghost. A dry voice came from the tree. Obviously, the owner of the pair of brown eyes recognized the huge figure under the tree. After a rustling sound, a bug ghost with long legs on its back slowly emerged from the tree. Hand ghost, why did you come to my territory? Do you want to grab the territory? The bug ghost asked very impolitely. On this Tingshi mountain, there are always more evil ghosts who can hide. In addition to the bug ghost that just appeared from the tree, there are also several powerful evil ghosts who have also devoured dozens of people, and these evil ghosts with similar strength almost reached an agreement by default, dividing Fujiksi Mountain into territories. The Demon Slayer Corps regarded Fujiksi Mountain as the trial field for the final selection. For these evil ghosts, Fujiksi Mountain is both a cage to imprison them and a hunting ground for them. However, in the face of the insect ghost's questioning, the hand ghost did not answer. As the insect ghost slowly climbed down the tree, with the moonlight, he could see the miserable state of the hand ghost. None of the countless shit green arms on his body were intact, and there were broken pieces of meat everywhere. Although the granulation at the wound was slowly wriggling, it was not easy for these evil ghosts to recover from such a serious injury. You. How did you become like this? The insect ghost was shocked. He knew very well that the hand ghost was stronger than himself and most other evil ghosts. It stands to reason that no one in Fujiksi Mountain could hurt the hand ghost like this. The insect ghost suddenly thought of a possibility and asked in a trembling voice, Demon, is the pillar of the Demon Slayer Corps here again? The pillar of the Demon Slayer Corps is almost the common nightmare of all the evil ghosts in Fujiksi Mountain. Every evil ghost captured in Fujiksi Mountain has faced the pillar. The terrible strength of the pillars has long been imprinted in the souls of these evil ghosts. The strongest evil ghost in Fujiksi Mountain can't stop the pillar's swords, so the insect ghost subconsciously wanted to escape and hide after guessing something. The evil ghost of Fujiksi Mountain who could survive to eat dozens of human swordsmen could not guarantee anything else, but his means of escaping and hiding were absolutely unique. Just when the insect ghost was about to escape, the hand ghost moved, and a relatively intact shit green arm suddenly rose up, rushed out suddenly when the insect ghost was unprepared, and firmly tied up the long legs behind the insect ghost, which was also the weapon that the insect ghost relied on to escape and fight. Hand ghost. What are you doing? The insect ghost shouted loudly in horror. The hand ghost also opened its ferocious mouth, and its sharp voice became extremely humble and flattering at this time. My lord, I have trapped it, please help. My lord? What lord? The hand ghost you. The insect ghost's eyes bulged out, and before he could finish his words, a green light had penetrated his neck. Then, in the eyes of the insect ghost, the world quickly turned upside down, and the whole world began to spin, plop. After a light sound, the insect ghost saw his headless body. Where is my head? That the emerald sun sword was steadily inserted into the scabbard, and the insect ghost's head turned into ashes under Shinichi's feet. This evil ghost who had been hiding on Fujiksi Mountain for 20 years was completely destroyed before he could even activate the blood demon art. The third one. Shinichi secretly counted in his heart. Under the betrayal of the hand ghost, the evil ghosts who had been hiding on Fujiksi Mountain for many years were pulled out one by Shinichi, and all of them were cut with a single knife. Yes, in order to survive, the hand ghost decisively betrayed all the hidden evil ghosts on Fujiksi Mountain to Shinichi. If the hand ghost did not kneel down decisively to betray his fellow comrades, the Nichiren sword that cut into the neck halfway would definitely not stop. For Shinichi, having the hand ghost as a demon traitor saved him a lot of effort, and also saved him from staring at the eighth form Zyuxiasan eyes bit by bit. However, while cleaning up these evil ghosts, Shinichi was also secretly shocked. He knew why the death rate of the final selection of the Demon Slayer Corps was so high. It was only one night, and so many evil ghosts were cleaned up, while the swordsmen participating in the final selection had to spend a full 7 days in Fujiksi Mountain. It would be strange if the death rate was not high. Thinking of this, Shinichi looked up at the night sky above his head. The only countermeasure of the Demon Slayer Corps was to rely on the crows to constantly hover over Fujiki Mountain for reconnaissance, but it was impossible to keep an eye on the entire Fujiki Mountain all the time with just the crows. Shinichi shook his head. Now this kind of thing should not be considered by him. The only thing he can do now is to eliminate the excessive evil spirits on Fujiki Mountain as much as possible. As time passed, the previous damage caused by the opening of the blood burst. Shinichi, who had ruined his clothes, was now sitting on a boulder with his legs crossed in brand new clothes, chewing a piece of sweet dorayaki in one hand. Of course, he carried all these things with the help of the silver mirror on his waist. Next to Shinichi, the hand ghost, which was originally scarred, had been repaired, but its momentum was several times weaker than before, and its newly grown arm was also an unhealthy shit green color, while its huge body was now shivering in front of Shinichi. The pale yellow ghost eyes kept secretly looking at Shinichi, who was chewing dorayaki, and secretly looked at the dense forest around him. An impulse to escape instantly swept over the hand ghost's body, but when the hand ghost just moved slightly, the sound of a sharp blade breaking through the air came whistling, and the emerald green sword instantly pierced one of the hand ghost's arms and nailed it to the ground fiercely. A cold voice also sounded behind the hand ghost. Ugly ghost, I advise you not to do anything, otherwise, I don't mind letting you report to hell now. Dense cold sweat immediately appeared on the green head of the hand ghost, and it immediately explained in a flattering tone, No, no, no. Sir. How dare I do anything? Sir, the day is about to dawn, I just want to find a good habitat for you. The hand ghost didn't know that Shinichi was not afraid of living in the sun. It subconsciously regarded Shinichi as a powerful ghost who could breathe like a human. Of course, Shinichi would not explain anything, and he didn't plan to continue searching for evil ghosts on Fuji Mountain during the day. After all, maintaining the blood ghost art and pseudo-Razuo also consumes strength, so it is more reliable to rely on the hand ghost, the ghost trader at night. Really? Then I misunderstood you, but I think you shouldn't mind, right? Shinichi slowly showed a nuclear smile. The hand ghost, feeling the severe pain from his shit green arm being nailed to the ground by the sword, narrowed his pale yellow ghost eyes and smiled flatteringly. Of course, sir, I don't mind at all. Chapter 46. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ga. Ga. Moriki Shinichi has eliminated 11 evil spirits. Moriki Shinichi has eliminated 11 evil spirits. The crow flapped its wings and landed nimbly on the arm of Rengoku Makijuro. Hearing that Shinichi had eliminated 11 evil spirits, Makijuro's expression became a little solemn. You know, in the past, when they were cleaning up Fujiki Mountain, they could only catch 2 or 3 evil spirits that exceeded the standard at most. But this time, in 6 days and nights, Moriki Shinichi actually eliminated 11 evil spirits that exceeded the standard. This shows 2 very serious problems. The first problem is that the evil spirits hidden on Fujiki Mountain are far beyond the expectations of the Demon Slayer Corps. If this continues, the harm caused by these evil spirits to the Demon Slayer Corps in the future will be incalculable. The second problem is the safety of the final selection. For hundreds of years, the Demon Slayer Corps has always relied on the crows to detect the progress of the final selection, but they lack attention to the swordsmen who participate in the selection. Makijuro thought for a moment, and finally gave a few words to the crow, and then the crow flapped its wings and flew into the sky. A childish voice sounded behind Makijuro at this time. "Father, when can I join the Demon Slayer Corps?" "It's not time yet, Kaijuro. What you have to do now is to catch that Shiba Inu and don't let it get close to me." "Hand Ghost. You bastard. I won't let you go even if I go to hell." An evil ghost cried out in his heart before dying, and his tone was full of resentful curses, but the Hand Ghost was not moved at all. Staying alive was the most important thing. Otherwise, if he offended the evil star in front of him, he would go to hell. Going to hell himself or letting his colleagues go to hell was not a multiple-choice question, but a free-point question. Blood Demon Art, Life Absorption. The green branches instantly penetrated the demon's head, and the powerful suction force drained the demon's vitality after a moment. He raised his hand to retract the branches. A breeze blew, and the demon's body immediately turned into ashes. Shinichi closed his eyes and took a deep breath, feeling the power in his body. Killing demons in the past few days was not only for his trial, but also greatly improved Shinichi's own strength. The power of vitality absorption was too strong. Every time he sucked those demons dry, Shinichi's strength would increase a little. The speed was too fast. In 7 nights, Shinichi's strength increased by 4 or 5 karasuma, official combat power index. Opening his eyes and looking at his palm, Shinichi found that he was slightly addicted to the feeling of such power enhancement. This was not a good sign. No matter how strong the power brought by the blood demon art was, it was still the power of the demon. Once he relied too much on it, Shinichi's goal of destroying Muzan would probably be difficult to achieve in his lifetime. After all, I can't rely too much on vitality absorption. Forest breathing is my biggest trump card. Shinichi murmured, relying solely on the power of the demon. Shinichi's strength is about 35 karasuma. With the addition of forest breathing, Shinichi's strength can exceed 40 karasuma. Even if all the trump cards are used and he is desperate, Shinichi's strength should be enough to match 50 karasuma in a short period of time. It can barely compete with the peak lower rank 4 winder reel that he met before. Of course, comparing karasuma is just a comparison method that Shinichi uses for entertainment. In fact, even if there are really 50 karasuma, they will not be the opponent of winder reel. While Shinichi was thinking alone, the hand demon beside him watched in fear as the evil demon who was stronger than himself turned into ashes under Shinichi's feet. "Sir, all the ghosts on Fujiksi Mountain who have eaten more than 10 people have been destroyed by you, and other slightly stronger ghosts have been destroyed by you. Congratulations on completing the goal. From now on, you are the strongest ghost in Fujiksi Mountain, hehe." The hand ghost flattered and congratulated. Shinichi retracted his palm, came back to his senses, looked at the hand ghost, his expression became a little playful, and said with a hint of meaning, "Really? Have all the powerful ghosts really been destroyed by me? I don't think so. It seems that there are still powerful ghosts that have not been killed." The hand ghost was stunned for a moment. "What? There are still? No way, it is a qualified ghost traitor. It is sure that it has betrayed all its colleagues. Where can there be strong ghosts?" The puzzled hand ghost was very confused, but soon it found that Shinichi's eyes were constantly looking at it. Suddenly, the hand ghost's smile froze. "It's bad, it's coming for itself. Sir, this is not a joke." Shinichi's stern face showed a rare smile, but this smile, which seemed extremely handsome to humans, was like the smile of a devil from hell in the eyes of the hand ghost. His smile was like the god of death waving at you. "Hey, ugly ghost, I remember I told you at the beginning that my goal is to destroy all the evil ghosts on this mountain who are stronger than those who come here to train human swordsmen, right? But now, it seems that you are the only relatively powerful ghost left. What should I do? Shinichi smiled and tilted his head to stare at the hand ghost. The hand ghost was also in a dilemma at this time. His shit-green skin flashed with unhealthy light again and again, and he was yelling madly in his heart, what should he do? In terms of strength, during this period of time, the hand ghost who clearly saw how strong Shinichi was would not seek death and run away. Fujiksi Mountain is so big, unless you can withstand the huge amount of wisteria flowers without being poisoned to death, you can run away, it can't be beaten, and it can't run away. The hand ghost seems to have seen the devil of hell waving at it. Damn it! The hand ghost cursed in his heart, but his actual tone was full of humility and pleading, my lord. My lord. You can't do this to me, I have done exactly what you said, I don't want to die, sir, please have mercy, I beg you, I promise to be your most loyal slave in the future. That with a snap, dozens of shit-green arms fell to the ground at the same time, and the hand ghost at this time was extremely humble, and Shinichi looked at the hand ghost, and a mocking smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Can you believe what a ghost says? You believe a ghost? Shinichi didn't believe anything the hand ghost said at all, but there was one thing that satisfied the hand ghost. Shinichi didn't plan to kill the hand ghost for the time being. It would be a pity if such a useful ghost rapist was not used a few more times. Don't worry, ugly ghost, I promised you to spare your life and I will definitely do it, but how much life you leave is up to me. The hand ghost widened his eyes, and before he had time to rejoice that he had escaped, Shinichi suddenly rushed in front of it, blood demon art life absorption. Ah! The inhumane wails of the hand ghost rang out on Fujiksi Mountain, it's the Chishi festival, and Muzi, who is alone, is so miserable. Please comfort me, urge me to update more and support poor Muzi, and use free gifts to ravage Muzi as much as you want _pi. Chapter 47. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Plop. A soft, child-thick arm fell to the ground helplessly, and the hand ghost's originally huge body had shrunk into a small ball, dozens of shit-green, thick arms turned into pale, weak, slender arms. If the hand ghost's strength before could match 2 Karasuma, then the hand ghost that was sucked dry by Shinichi and had only one breath left should be able to match 2 Karasuma, fingers. After casually glancing at the hand ghost, Shinichi retracted the branch that had drilled out of his palm, and a glimmer of light flashed from the silver mirror on his waist. A bamboo kettle appeared in his hand. He pulled out the stopper, and the rich wisteria fragrance immediately emerged. After drinking a pot of wisteria tea, Shinichi's ferocious face gradually softened, and the scarlet pupil of his right eye turned back to a soft pink color, and the sharp fangs and claws gradually retracted to normal, looking up at the countless stars twinkling in the night sky and the moon gradually setting in the west. It seems that the day is about to dawn. On the morning of the 8th day after Shinichi entered the mountain, at the entrance of Fujiki Mountain, the flame pillar Rengoku Makijuro stood upright in front of a table covered with a red cloth with his arms folded. The morning sun shone on the flame-patterned cloak behind him, shining with a different color. Behind Makijuro, a much shorter boy also stood. The boy was not very old, but what was amazing was that the spirited face that was almost exactly the same as Makijuro's was unforgettable at first sight. The boy was holding a cute black and white Shiba Inu in his hands. As time passed, there was movement in the deep path leading to the depths of Fujiki Mountain. Gradually, Makijuro heard clearly that it was footsteps. In the path surrounded by countless wisteria flowers, a figure gradually became clear. When Shinichi, carrying a knife, stepped out of the wisteria flower path, a feeling of sudden enlightenment came over him. The morning sun is gentle and warm, giving people a sense of vitality, but for Shinichi, who is in a state of pseudo-rebirth, he can't feel the warmth of the sun. When Shinichi walked out of Fujiki Mountain, he saw Rengoku Makijuro standing there with his arms folded. He was a little surprised. Could it be that this flame pillar had been waiting for 7 days in Fujiki Mountain? Shinichi suddenly felt a sense of being valued, and a trace of satisfaction flashed in his heart. In fact, Shinichi was just overthinking. The pillars of the Demon Slayer Corps all have very important demon-slaying duties, but Makijuro just happened to be on missions around Fujiki Mountain recently. But what attracted Shinichi more was the boy behind Makijuro. He looked like he was only 11 or 12 years old, but the energetic golden hair, red hair tips, the same wide-open orange eyes, and rough eyebrows, isn't this a typical Makijuro miniature plus? The miniature version of Makijuro is still holding his own Enji in his hands. Enji is so heartless that he didn't show any sign of gratitude when his master came back. He was still lying in his arms leisurely. It seems that it's time to urge Enji to lose weight. Shinichi walked in front of Makijuro and pointed at the miniature version of Makijuro behind him before he could speak and asked, "Is this your child?" Makijuro was stunned and asked honestly, "How do you know?" The little owl is standing next to the big owl." Shinichi was speechless. But Makijuro quickly introduced the boy behind him who was carved out of the same mold as him, Rengoku Kaijuro, my eldest son. There was a hint of imperceptible pride in his tone. Rengoku Kaijuro, who was holding Enji, also looked at Shinichi with curiosity, as well as the Nichiren sword on Shinichi's waist. He had already heard the story of Shinichi from his father, and he was very much looking forward to this big brother who was 3 years older than him. Killing dozens of demons at such a young age is really attractive to the eldest son of the Rengoku family, a demon-slaying family. Kaijuro. What a good name. Shinichi was not surprised to hear this name. It can only be said that they are worthy of being father and son. Not only do they look alike, but their names are also alike. Makijuro estimated the time, then put down his hands and said solemnly, "Okay, Shinichi, in order not to waste time, let's hurry up. First of all, congratulations on passing the final selection, and welcome you to join the Demon Slayer Corps. At the same time, we also thank you for everything you have done on Fujiki Mountain." As he said, Makijuro actually leaned over and bowed to Shinichi. This was a bit heavy. Not to mention Makijuro's identity as the Flame Pillar, just looking at the age alone, it was somewhat inappropriate for Makijuro, who was almost 30 years old, to bow to Shinichi, who was only in his teens. However, Makijuro did not think it was inappropriate because he was not only thanking Shinichi on behalf of himself, but also on behalf of the Demon Slayer Corps and the swordsmen who would participate in the final selection in the future. This gift was not expensive. Shinichi was a little confused when he saw Makijuro bowing to him. He touched his nose awkwardly and said, this is what I should do." Makijuro stood up again, then walked to the table covered with red cloth behind him, uncovered the red cloth, and a neatly folded Demon Slayer uniform and several large pieces of honeycomb coal-like ore were placed together. Makijuro picked up the Demon Slayer uniform and handed it to Shinichi personally. "Shinichi Moriki, the Demon Slayer Corps welcomes you to join." Shinichi took the uniform and asked curiously, "How do you know the size of my clothes?" "Mr. Moriki Mitsuyo has told us in detail about your living habits. Don't worry, the Demon Slayer Corps can become your most trustworthy big family." Shinichi. Old man. How did he know? Could it be? Old man Moriki, little brat. Were you naked in the Moriki mansion before? Those clothes were made by someone to help you. Is it strange to know your size? After handing the uniform to Shinichi, Makijuro added, "In our Demon Slayer Corps, the swordsmen are divided into 10 levels, namely A, B, C, D, E, F, G, S, R, and G. In view of your record, Shinichi, the Lord and the Pillars unanimously agree that you will be promoted to a B-level swordsman." Shinichi muttered, "B-level? It's directly the second level, which is not low." He remembered the A-level swordsman Gumiai, who he met in Takanagawa village that day. Shinichi still remembered the opponent's strong strength. Shinichi didn't feel wronged at Gumiai's level, so he accepted this arrangement very calmly. Makijuro helped Shinichi print the symbol of the B-level swordsman on the back of his hand. With this symbol, Shinichi can get full help from the Wisteria emblem family all over the country. After explaining some of the rules of the Demon Slayer Corps, Makijuro clapped his hands, and suddenly, a loud crow sounded above Shinichi's head. A pitch-black crow flapping its large wings circled flexibly above Shinichi's head. Chapter 48. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ga. Ga. The large-sized crow landed precisely on Shinichi's shoulder and began to comb its feathers. The crow is the most important partner of our Demon Slayer team. It is also a partner who helps us communicate with each other and the headquarters. The usual ghost hunting missions are also issued by the crow. Shinichi, give your crow partner a name. It doesn't have a name yet. It is also an excellent crow that has just completed the crow training, just like you. Makishiro looked at the crow on Shinichi's shoulder and said seriously. Partner? Shinichi stretched out his finger, and the crow on his shoulder came up very cooperatively, rubbing its little head against Shinichi's hand. Shinichi smiled slightly and nodded the crow's little head. In this case, my name is Shinichi, the fat dog is Enji, and you will be called Izo. Ga. Ga. Izo. Izo. The crow, oh no, it should be called Izo in the future, spread its wings excitedly, quacked and shouted its own name, obviously liking this name very much, but at this moment, a discordant voice sounded, and the little Shiba Inu Enji jumped out of Kaijuro's arms anxiously, and howled loudly at Izo, looking like a poor little thing who had been stolen from his home and lost his favor. Shinichi sneered in his heart. You little fat ball has no conscience, you deserve it. So he pretended to ignore Enji, teasing Izo on his shoulder intimately, and Enji kept pulling Shinichi's trouser legs anxiously. Without mentioning these little episodes, Makijuro brought Shinichi to the table, pointed to the pieces of honeycomb coal-like ore on the table and said, this is the jade steel needed to forge the sun-will sword. Shinichi, pick one. Shinichi subconsciously looked at the sun-will sword Mori no Ryu on his waist. The old man said that Mori no Ryu was not his sword after all, and he should have his own sword. Looking at the different-sized pieces of tamagon, Shinichi didn't know how to choose. Makijuro didn't bother Shinichi, but let him choose by himself. Kayajuro on the side showed a touch of envy in his eyes. After thinking for a while, Shinichi chose the largest piece of tamagon. Let's take this one, but I have a request. My Nichiren sword is broken. I hope to repair it. I don't ask to restore it to its original state, just repair the broken part. Said Shinichi pulled out the Nichiren sword from his waist, and the broken part of the forest dragon was still clearly visible. Makijuro took the sun blade, looked at it for a moment, nodded and agreed, it will take about 10 days to forge the sun blade. Shinichi, while you are waiting for the sun blade, the Lord wants to see you. Shinichi was stunned when he heard this. Lord? See me? When? Makijuro nodded and said seriously, the crow will guide you to the headquarters of the Demon Slayer Corps, and the Lord will wait for you there. Is that so? Shinichi pondered for a moment, and finally chose to go to the headquarters of the Demon Slayer Corps. In fact, he was also curious about the mysterious Lord of the Demon Slayer Corps. A family that can lead the Demon Slayer Corps to fight against evil spirits for hundreds of years sounds like a legend. Then, I look forward to our next meeting. I hope we can fight side by side at that time, swordsman Shinichi. Makijuro said with some emotion. Before Makijuro took Kayajuro away, Kayajuro ran over alone and touched Enji's head reluctantly. Father doesn't like small animals. This time he asked me to come here because he wanted to help Shinichi-senpai take care of Enji. Shinichi-senpai, you are really amazing. I want to become a strong swordsman like you in the future. Kayajuro said to Shinichi with a slightly admiring look in his eyes, but to be honest, being admired by a boy of the same age as him, Shinichi was proud and a little embarrassed, so he said, Kayajuro, your father is very strong. With his guidance, I believe you will become a strong swordsman in a short time. By the way, you don't have to call me senior. If you can, just call me big brother. Kayajuro nodded happily when he heard this, and then shouted loudly Brother Shinichi. Shinichi, who was the eldest brother for the first time, was very happy and gave an extra piece of dorayaki with added ingredients to Kayajuro, and Kayajuro did not doubt his elder brother at all. He took the dorayaki and took a big bite, then we can see that Kayajuro's sunny and energetic face was instantly covered with a layer of gloom. Although his stomach had begun to churn, facing the expectant expression of his elder brother Shinichi, Kayajuro still resisted showing a distorted expression and shouted tremblingly, 5 ants. Delicious. Soon, Shinichi admired Kayajuro even more. In the Moriki mansion, old man Moriki, sitting alone under the eaves, closed his eyes and enjoyed the sunshine shining on his body. A warm feeling, at some point, a crow with red feathers on its tail cackled and landed in front of the old man. After catching a handful of fried rice to reward the crow, Old Man Morimu opened a letter sent by the crow. Soon, a smile from the heart appeared on Old Man Morimu's old face. Shinichi, good boy, you still have a long future, come on and fly high. Sister. That's Mr. Bimingyu Shinmei's mansion. The black-haired little girl shouted excitedly, pointing at the gate in front of her, but the little girl's sister had a hint of hesitation in her eyes. They finally found out Mr. Bimingyu Shinmei's home through the team members with hidden words printed on their backs, but they were not sure that Mr. Bimingyu Shinmei would agree to their request. That's right, it was the sisters Kene Kocho and Shinobu Kocho who found Gyumei Bimingyu. After taking care of their parents' funeral, the two sisters resolutely decided to become swordsmen of the Demon Slayer Corps like Mr. Gyumei Bimingyu. The two sisters learned about the Demon Slayer Corps from the hidden Corps members who helped them. After knowing that the Demon Slayer Corps had been fighting against evil spirits for hundreds of years to protect humans, Kane and Shinobu were very shocked by the greatness of the swordsmen of the Demon Slayer Corps and the strength of the evil spirits. In order to prevent the tragedy of their own family from happening again, Kane and Shinobu both volunteered to join the Demon Slayer Corps. However, when they were still in the butterfly medicine house, Mr. Gyumei Bimingyu had already rejected them. This time, I'm afraid it may not be successful, but how can you know if you don't try? In any case, the determination of the butterfly sisters will not be shaken. With a hint of excitement on her face, Shinobu Kocho looked at the door in front of her, and her heart was full of fighting spirit. She will definitely join the Demon Slayer Corps with her sister. Become a swordsman who can kill evil spirits, and avenge those evil spirits who killed my father and mother. Thinking of this, a cold face flashed through Shinobu Kocho's mind, and the words "I will kill more evil spirits with your will. I can do it myself." Shinobu encouraged herself in her heart. Chapter 49. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wearing a black top like a school uniform, the big character printed on the back shines brightly in the sun. On the legs are the same black wild trousers as the top. The calves are wrapped with white bandages without affecting the fast movement. The hard-soled deerskin boots are even inlaid with steel. The uniforms of the Demon Slayer Corps are made with special fabric technology. They are not only lighter and more breathable, but also have excellent defensive capabilities. Even the minions of some low-level evil ghosts cannot tear this black uniform. Fasten the white belt, buckle the silver buttons of the uniform top one by one, put on the collar high, put on the brand new green haori that Mr. Moriki had prepared for him a long time ago, and the Demon Slayer Corps B-class swordsman Moriki Shinichi officially debuted. Looking at the familiar yet unfamiliar self in the silver mirror, Shinichi took a deep breath. From today, he embarked on a different path. In the mountains, the roads are intricate and the forests are dense. No one would have thought that the headquarters of the Demon Slayer Corps, which has been fighting against evil spirits for hundreds of years, is hidden in these mountains. There was a whistling sound in his ears, and his crow Izo landed on his shoulder nimbly and shouted loudly, "Southeast-east direction. Keep going 500 meters." Seeing Izo, Enji, who was lying in Shinichi's arms, immediately bared his teeth in dissatisfaction, but was slapped back by Shinichi. Since entering the mountains, Shinichi has walked for more than 2 hours. While lamenting the secrecy of the Demon Slayer Corps headquarters, he probably also understood why the Demon Slayer Corps has been able to fight against powerful evil spirits for hundreds of years, relying on the bloody battles of countless swordsmen and a sufficiently concealed and cautious style. Shinichi believes that unless there are thousands of evil spirits conducting a carpet search in the mountains, it is impossible to find the headquarters of the Demon Slayer Corps. Under the guidance of Ing-san, Shinichi and Yuenji spent most of the day and finally arrived at the destination of this trip. Looking at the spectacular buildings in front of them, Shinichi was deeply shocked. Shinichi was amazed that such a large-scale building complex was hidden in the seemingly desolate mountains. The most important thing was that there were quite a few people here. Shinichi could see some members of the Demon Slayer Corps who were wearing the same swords as him passing by in a hurry from time to time. Some members even had a strong smell of blood. There were also many members of the Hidden Corps wearing uniforms with the word Hidden printed on the back, busy dealing with various logistical issues of the Demon Slayer Corps. In the sky, many crows were flying around, delivering messages from evil spirits from all over the country, and the whereabouts and battle reports of the Demon Slayer Corps. Everything looked in order. It is really amazing that it is a demon-slaying organization that has existed for hundreds of years. Shinichi secretly admired. Soon, Yingzhou led Shinichi to the location of the Hidden Corps. After revealing his identity to the members of the Hidden Corps, a member of the Hidden Corps wearing a striped mask and a hat soon volunteered to lead Shinichi to the residence of the Demon Slayer Corps' lord, the Ubuyashiki residence. Shinichi followed the Hidden Corps member holding the snoring Enji, and looked around curiously. For Shinichi, everything about the Demon Slayer Corps was full of novelty. In the eyes of many people, evil spirits only exist in legends, and the existence of the Demon Slayer Corps should also be a legend, but now, this legend has really appeared in front of Shinichi. Mr. Moriki, we are here. This is the Lord's residence. The Hidden Corps member pointed to the gate in front of him and turned back to Shinichi. Shinichi was a little surprised when he looked at the simple gate in front of him. In Shinichi's cognition, as the residence of the Demon Slayer Corps' lord, it should be full of majesty at least, not to mention the splendor. But what is this residence that looks like a farmyard in front of him? This is not even half of the old man's house. With a little puzzlement, Shinichi and the Inri team walked into the Ubuyashiki mansion. As soon as he entered, Shinichi saw an acquaintance, the strong body of more than 2 meters tall, wearing the same Demon Slayer Corps uniform on the man with his hands clasped together and a Buddhist rosary around his neck, is just like a Vajra in the world. The white eyes and the long scar on the forehead are surprisingly the one who had contact with Shinichi in Takanagawa village. However, at this time, Xingming is wearing a strange-looking haori that looks like a cassock. Mr. Xingming. You are here too. Shinichi took the initiative to greet Xingming, and Enji also barked at Xingming in a friendly way. Xingming heard a familiar voice, turned around, and replied in a low and soothing voice, "It turned out to be Moriki and your friends. I have heard your story. Namo Amipa, welcome to join the Demon Slayer Corps." When Xingming turned around, Shinichi noticed that there was a figure standing next to Xingming, and that figure was also tall, handsome face, but the most eye-catching thing is the decoration of the man's body. The original uniform sleeves are gone, revealing 2 sturdy arms. On the left and right upper arms, there is a thick and bright golden armband, just like gold. There is also a forehead guard decorated with dazzling gems. What's more exaggerated is that there are even 2 gorgeous pendants made of dozens of gems hanging on both sides of the forehead guard. In addition, his hands and ears are all hung with gorgeous gems of various colors, and his nails are even painted bright red, bejeweled. Shinichi used this adjective to describe a man for the first time. The handsome man standing next to Xingming is simply a large light bulb. Yuaner looked at the man with a shiny body and showed excitement. That man has so many bright stones. I really want to pick them off and play with them. Who is the guy standing next to Mr. Bimingyu? He looks so showy. Shinichi asked the hidden team member next to him quietly. The hidden team member was surprised. So Mr. Moriki knows Rock Pillar. Standing next to Rock Pillar is the A-class swordsman Mr. Yuzui Tengen, who is very powerful and, gorgeous swordsman. Shinichi, what? Gorgeous? This is a bit too gorgeous, swish. As if hearing the word gorgeous, the handsome young man called Yuzui Tengen turned his head instantly, and posed for Shinichi and the others in a very unique way, and said at the same time, "What a discerning team member, you can see my gorgeousness at a glance." Shinichi, hidden team member. By the way, not long ago, Mr. Bimingyu was still an A-class swordsman. Did he become a pillar so quickly? Shinichi looked at the tall Xingming with some surprise. Sure enough, the silver buttons on Xingming's uniform turned into gold, which represents pillar. Yes. Rock Pillar is very powerful. Since joining our Demon Slayer Corps a year ago, he has successfully killed more than 50 evil demons to this day. Super powerful. The tone of the hidden team member was full of admiration. Shinichi thought of Xingming's powerful strength, and it was not difficult to kill 50 evil ghosts. Soon, after learning that Shinichi was here to see the Lord, Xingming put his hands together and said seriously, in this case, let's not disturb Mori and the Lord. Tianyuan, please come with me. Yuzui Tianyuan naturally did not refuse, and slicked his silver-white hair gorgeously, and left the Ubuyashiki mansion with Xingming. When passing by Shinichi, he said in an appreciative tone, "You can become more gorgeous than you are now, come on, work hard, I'm counting on you." Aoo. UNG screamed at Yuzui Tianyuan, envious of the gems on his body. Yuzui Tianyuan touched UNG's head. "I didn't expect that the puppy was so obsessed with my gorgeousness, it's really happy." Shinichi. My silence was deafening. Chapter 50. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After bidding farewell to Gumiai and the gorgeous Yuzui Tengen, the Inri team brought Shinichi to the innermost part of the Ubuyashiki residence. In front of the exquisite wooden house, there is a small open space paved with white stones. The round rockery stones surround a not too large pond. The clear spring water from the mountains keeps flowing into the pond. In the pond, a small group of cute round goldfish swim carefree. Outside the courtyard wall, the wisteria flowers with fragrance are blooming. The scenery is not particularly gorgeous, but it makes people feel a rare sense of peace of mind, very comfortable. Ah! Enji broke free from Shinichi's arms, shook his tail and ran to the edge of the pond. His two little eyes looked at the group of goldfish in the pond excitedly, which scared the originally carefree goldfish away. Enji! Stop fooling around. Come back. Shinichi quickly turned around and scolded Enji. At this moment, a gentle voice suddenly sounded behind him. Is it Shinichi? Ah! Hearing someone calling his name, Shinichi was stunned for a moment, and quickly turned around to see a thin boy under the eaves of the wooden house, smiling gently at him. The boy, who was about the same age as him, was wearing a simple black long coat, a simple yellow belt around his waist, and a white coat with purple flowing fire patterns. His handsome face was slightly pale, but his pair of light purple eyes were very bright. The moment he saw the boy, the hidden team members around Shinichi immediately knelt on one knee excitedly. My lord! My lord! Shinichi looked at the boy in front of him in surprise. It's our first meeting. I'm glad to meet you, Moriki Shinichi-kun. I'm the head of the Demon Slayer Corps, Ubuyashiki Yoya. The black-haired boy bowed slightly and greeted Shinichi. That's right, the person who appeared in front of Shinichi was none other than the contemporary Demon Slayer Corps' headmaster, Ubuyashiki Yoya. You are the Demon Slayer Corps' headmaster. So young. Shinichi blurted out without even thinking. In his imagination, the headmaster who could control the Demon Slayer Corps, a huge curse, and fight against the vicious demons for hundreds of years, even if he was not a respected old wise man in his 60s or 70s, at least he must be a leader in his 30s or 40s with courage. But what about this young man in front of him who was about the same age as himself? Shinichi's tone was very aggressive. Before Ubuyashiki Yoya spoke, the hidden team member who led Shinichi became excited. Hey! You guy! How can you talk to the Lord? It's so rude, bastard. Just now he respectfully called himself Mr. Moriki, but now he immediately changed his face and called him a bastard. Apart from anything else, this young lord is really respectable, Shinichi thought. You are too kind, Goto-kun. Thank you for your hard work. Please let me talk to Shinichi alone next. Ubuyashiki Yoya said gently. The hidden team member named Goto heard the order of the Lord and glared at Shinichi with dissatisfaction. The latter looked indifferent and left the Ubuyashiki residence angrily. Soon, only Shinichi and Ubuyashiki Yoya were left in the open space, looking at each other face to face, and there was also a little Shiba Inu running wildly by the pond. What I said is correct. You are so young and you can become the Lord of the Demon Slayer Corps. Can you control the Demon Slayer Corps? Shinichi asked with a doubtful tone, crossing his arms. Hearing Shinichi's words, Ubuyashiki Yoya was not angry, but smiled gently, then walked out of the eaves, sat down on the wooden steps, and patted the seat next to him, motioning Shinichi to sit down as well. Shinichi had no concerns about the seemingly fragile lord in front of him, and walked to Ubuyashiki Yoya and sat down. My age is indeed a little young compared to you, Shinichi, but it is not uncommon in our Ubuyashiki family. In fact, I became the lord of the Demon Slayer Corps when I was 4 years old. Ubuyashiki Yoya said slowly. How old? 4 years old. Are there no adults in your family? Shinichi was shocked. A 4-year-old child became the lord of the Demon Slayer Corps. This is simply alarmist. A 4-year-old child in a normal family who does not wet the bed is considered grown up, let alone becoming the lord of a huge organization with thousands of people. My family is indeed gone. My father chose to commit suicide at the age of 19 because he cared too much about the sacrifice of the swordsman. At that time, I was 4 years old and the last male in the Ubuyashiki family. So, I took over my father's duties and became the lord of the Demon Slayer Corps. When talking about this past event, Ubuyashiki Yoya's tone was a little heavy, and Shinichi was a muggle. He seemed to have just poked the scar in someone's heart. Damn it. He really should, death. Shinichi suddenly felt a surge of self-blame. Seeing the unnatural look on Shinichi's face, Ubuyashiki Yoya added, Don't get me wrong, Shinichi, I'm not complaining when I say these things, I'm just answering your question, Shinichi. In fact, Shinichi, I've also learned your story from Mr. Moriki Mitsuyo. If we talk about age, aren't you younger than me, Shinichi? But what you did is amazing, you killed many evil spirits, and helped us kill the lower string 4, it's really amazing. After a moment of silence, Shinichi said softly, It's nothing, I just wanted revenge for myself at the beginning, for my own selfishness. Ubuyashiki Yoya smiled and narrowed his eyes, saying gently, Everyone has his own selfishness, without exception. Even I want to eliminate the ancestor of demons, Muzan Kibutsuji, and remove the family curse. No one is born selfless, many swordsmen who join the Demon Slayer Corps have the same bitter hatred for evil demons as you, Shinichi. From some perspectives, swordsmen are also selfish for their own revenge, but this is not a bad thing, right? We don't have to be too demanding of ourselves, just do our best. Shinichi was a little speechless. He was comforted by the young lord who was almost the same age as him. He was really embarrassed. By the way, what did you mean by the curse just now? Shinichi asked in confusion. When he was at the Moriki mansion, the old man did not tell him in detail about the Demon Slayer Corps. Shinichi had only heard about the head family of the Demon Slayer Corps, the Ubuyashiki family. That's a very old story. Ubuyashiki Yoya still kept smiling, his light purple eyes looked into the distance, his thoughts seemed to drift back to 1,000 years ago. A breeze blew, ruffling the boy's black hair, slightly revealing a small piece of purple skin on his forehead that was festering under the black hair.